Hello. I would like to start today with you actually asking yourself, how are you right now with your motivation? How are you feeling? And well, if you are new to me, you don't know who I am. I'm Anna Pineda. I run the education company I Focus and Write, where I help scientists to get more productive, more creative, and also happier with their academic life. And you probably, the ones that are here right now, seeing me live, is because you have heard already about what I do. And maybe even know that a couple of weeks ago, I did this same live. I just lost it. And I really wanted to have this video to use it also in a new YouTube channel that I'm creating. So I will send you the links. You can also subscribe there and in a private podcast in case you want to listen to this. Oh, no, right now even my headphone just falls in your podcast. And I'm super excited about these new activities because it's part of let's say we managed to do this. This is great because it's on the line of what I want to tell you, which is a series of imperfect actions. And this is something very important to get things done, to get your scientific writing done, and something that scientists struggle being most of us quite perfectionist. So let's start dropping that and see if that already is something that help you to get more motivated. Now, motivation is a complicated thing. It comes and goes, and when you want it, it's not there. So please just tell me in the chat how you are right now in that sense. If you feel you could do with some extra motivation, and of course, if you are hearing me, anything, so I know things are going well. I might take a few seconds to see those comments, but that's okay. Then I will keep chatting with you and answering. And well, I wanted to also highlight something very important. There are moments when the motivation is low and nothing of what we do seems to work. Nothing of what we get advice seems to work, and you just feel demotivated day after day. So this can be a serious sign of burnout, and I always encourage everyone go and search for professional help because mental health issues are a very common issue in academia, and if that's you, please find the help of a therapist, a psychologist, probably in your university or research center. There is that type of help. Now, the problems that I see often with motivation, I've worked already with hundreds of students inside my courses and programs. And I can say that often comes to three main things. And the first one is when we feel overwhelmed by everything we need to do. It seems that there is too much on our plate, everything is confusing, you don't know what to do first. And sometimes it's because we set a very unrealistic goal, and it's that single goal that seems huge. For example, when we think on the PhD, well, that can be overwhelming, and that can make you lose motivation because it looks too big. Please tell me in the chat if anyone is feeling like this or has experienced this issue with the too big goals. Then another common moment, rejection. Rejection is part of academia. We face it constantly when we submit papers and are rejected, when we want to go to a conference and our abstract is rejected. And sometimes it feels like rejection when you send your paper to your supervisor and you get it all full of constructive feedback, but even then it feels like a rejection. And when that happens, it's tough and the motivation tends to go down. And rejection can also feel actually when you feel, for example, also that your experiments don't work as you expect. And more than rejection is like a disappointment. So these moments can really mine your motivation. And then the third situation that I see often is when you are doing something that you are finding difficult, that you don't have the skills for that. And this I see it, of course, very common when you are doing your writing and you don't have any skills yet on scientific writing, but also when you are doing statistical analysis, or when you are in the lab doing something that you feel you have no idea, you're trying to figure it out on your own, or reading articles how others have done it, and it's just not working. And I always say in these situations, please find help. Maybe someone in the lab can help you, or maybe the help comes from another lab, but I'm sure you could find people there that could give you that help, and that will help you again to recover the motivation. Now, if any of this was something that resonated, let me know, either if you are watching live or if you watch later this recording, and we can keep talking about it. Then another important thing about motivation is to understand two different types of motivation. One is the extrinsic, and the other one is the intrinsic. And extrinsic is the one that comes from external factors. They don't really depend on you, but you are motivated by those factors. For example, something very common we do, sometimes you are so motivated on publishing your results in a certain journal that you forget about enjoying the process of writing, of doing experiments, of getting your work out. And we are very fixated on that final result. And it's not your fault if sometimes you have feeling this extrinsic motivation trap, because academia, like many other careers, they are very focused on the result. And that, of course, makes us also focus on those results. The intrinsic is the one that comes from within, like the name already suggests. So that one that motivates you to go do your work, even if unpaid, although that shouldn't be the case, but that you really love it and enjoy that process. And like I said, in this example of the result and having your results published in certain article could be the joy of doing that work, doing that research, defining your questions, doing the experiments to answer the questions, which it can be a very joyful moment and a highly motivating moment. But again, it's something that we forget. So now, having cleared these two different aspects, I want to share 3 tips to stay motivated, and hopefully will also help you not only stay, but recover some of that motivation if you feel that it's gone. And the first one is, well, start with your why. And your why is the why are you doing this? Why did you decide to do a PhD or a postdoc? Why did you want to actually be a scientist in the first place? Or why, even more specifically, when you are writing a project or a paper, at the very beginning, you can write why that article, why that project is so cool, why the world needs this work to be done. And you can do a bit of journaling and writing. Some of my students said that it would be cool to record a video of you convincing yourself, and not maybe just convincing, but explaining why this is so amazing. And then there will be moments when, again, the motivation will be low, when things will be hard, and please go back to that why. And that's why I recommend you to write it down. Maybe you can write it via writing a paper on the top of the paper, so you have it there easily to find. And whenever you feel down, you go and remember why this is so cool. The second thing is, it's again related to what we just spoke. We need to fall in love with the process. And this is something, again, that we forget very often. So go back and start being more mindful, more present, paying attention to those processes and what you enjoy of that process. Of course, you're not going to enjoy all of it. It's rare the case when we love every single step. There will be things that you will really like, and things that it will be difficult to do. But when you also understand that the difficult things are part of that process, and that will help you also fulfill that why, you will immediately feel more motivated to do the things that you enjoy, and the ones that you don't. And going back and paying attention to that process is key. Then the third thing is to start saying no. This is a big thing, because I work with many people that are overwhelmed by their daily tasks, daily work, especially as you progress in your academic career, you pass the PhD phase, you become a postdoc, or then you become an assistant professor, tasks keep piling on top of each other. And I always say, like, especially at the postdoc level, you are there like juggling with fire, because you need to combine, especially at that moment, the experiments that you might still be doing yourself and being in charge of those experiments, but also with more responsibilities. For example, supervising students, teaching, maybe some administrative work, collaborating with other groups or colleagues in your group, and then, of course, all your private life situation that well, the time will be busy, but also there is this age when you maybe move with your partner or have children, or you have older parents you are taking care of. So everything can be very overwhelming. So it's critical, as you progress and things start coming on your plate, to be able of saying no to the things that are not aligned with your values, that are not aligned with your priorities, with your goals. And for that, well, it's key first to know what are those, what are your goals, what are your priorities, what are your values, but then also have the courage of saying no, and that maybe the other people are not going to like it. Nobody likes it, right? When someone tells us no, but they will have to live with it, and it will be only beneficial for you. And this is a practice I have struggled with saying no, but I've been working hard the last years, and there is some also the strategy that you can practice. But know that this is very common, and it's part of a people pleasing behavior, because we also want to be liked and the people are happy with us, but it's not possible to do that and do all the work you want to do. We need to, again, prioritize, and saying no needs to be part of that strategy. Now, why did I bring this aspect of saying no to this talk about motivation? Well, it's because one of the things why people lose motivation is the lack of autonomy, the lack of freedom. And I want that you reflect for a moment, and if this might be your situation, or you can see a moment when you felt that lack of freedom, that lack of autonomy, and how that impacted you. So if you see at some point that indeed was the case, let me know in the comments. I don't know if this is working and if anyone is seeing it, but otherwise I can always see the comments later if you watch the replay. And when does this happen? Well, of course, when you are working in a very tight project where you cannot decide any direction or any deviation of the main line, or you maybe work in a group where it's very top-down approach, where you just need to do what you are told to do. But these things, honestly, are not so common in science, right? One of the nice things of being scientists is that we have quite some freedom, but still some people might be in that situation. What I see very common is more out of being so busy that you are most of the time working on urgent things. So you don't have time to work on your priorities, but keep working on putting fires off, and doing all the urgent things. And often those urgent things are not part of your priorities, but the priorities of somebody else. So when that happens, you might feel that like a lack of autonomy, and that can be a big trigger for that low motivation. And so if that's the case, let's go to the previous point of start saying more not, and being again in charge of your time, of your energy, of your schedule. And sure, you will collaborate, you will help others, you will work also on urgent things for others, but always trying to balance it with working also on your own priorities and what is important for you. Now, with this, we are moving to the last point of staying motivated. And this is something crucial that sometimes we tend to forget, and is energy. Managing your time, managing your projects is not enough. You also need to learn to manage your energy. Because even the most motivated person in the world, if you don't have energy, if you are exhausted, it's not going to work. Even if you love your job, if you have a why, if it's everything is amazing, but if you are exhausted, that motivation is going to go. So some of the mantras we have here in our focus on right are that rest is productive. So if you can think that the lack of motivation indeed might come because you are really exhausted and you are not sleeping enough and any many other reasons that can really make you not have that energy. Uh, First thing, go and recover it. Sleep well. Resting, like I said, rest is productive, but also we always say having fun is productive. That to start, and then do less. That is quite attached to the saying no, but I said do less of things in general, but so you can have more time to do more of what is really important for you. Yeah? And then also remember when we talk about energy, you do you. And we are so diverse. What energizes one person doesn't energize the others. And some people might need rest more than others, and that's okay. Just find the way that will work for you. And with this is all that what I wanted to share today about staying motivated as a scientist and recover the motivation. And if you're watching this replay, I would love to know what you thought about this video. If you have any other suggestions, would love to hear too. And stay tuned. And I will try to do these live streams, these videos, at least every couple of weeks. And like I said, I will also post this in a YouTube channel, so you can also subscribe there, and also in a private podcast in case you like to listen to podcasts on your commute or while you are doing a walk. And yeah, send me an email. Let me know what you thought. Send or a private message. Would love to know. Take care, and I hope your motivation gets a boost. Bye bye.